'Tis I, Alicia. How are you? Hope you're doing better than adequate. Anyhow, today we're going to look into the Lost Colony of Roanoke. This one's been suggested by you-know-who. It's been on the list for a while, and we're going to dig into it. So here are my notes. I have just a little bit. And you can go, there's a lot of, I think there's even shows on this. There's a lot of stuff on the internet you can go check out about the colony. It was the first permanent English settlement in North America by Sir Walter Raleigh. The colony was discovered abandoned 3 years after its founding. Like, why? What happened? Where did the people go? There's a lot of theories that the people maybe migrated somewhere else. There was theories there was some supernatural things happening. So let's look into it. Let's start first. Let's do a major arcana spread on the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Like, general read on that little settlement. That settlement that was established. Let's see what was up with that whole settlement. Okay, so, excuse me, piece of wax. It was like a whole, like, everybody's in on this together. It was a partnership. Everybody came together, wanted to do this. They're trying to get away from El Diablo. Maybe that was the, you know, the British. They're trying to get away from the chains that bound. They wanted to start on a new life for themselves. They were looking forward to creating their own rules. And then we have the Empress. Interesting. Well, to see what else, how that ties back in. Okay, so they did have a lot of concerns here with the world card about the world interfering in what they were trying to do here as they established their settlement. So it's not just them choosing their own way. They're concerned about where they came from and what they were encountering and how that was going to play into the success of their colony. The emotional undercurrents, the Tower card. Like, almost as if they knew they were doomed to fail. Like, everything was working against them. Everything was working against them. So it's like them against the world, them against whoever this El Diablo type person is over there. Okay. That's interesting. So the unspoken fear here with the Hermit is almost like that God's going to stop talking to us. We're not going to figure out which way we're supposed to go. We're going to be kind of abandoned and left out here to dry. They were obsessed, though, with trying to make a successful go of it. They wanted to be this example of, you know, look at how successful Roanoke is, and this is going to be our plan that we follow for each of our further settlements and colonies that we bring up. They were looking to find balance in all parts of their life. They were looking to be the shining star of the show. Like, you know, like I said, look at us. We're a template for success. We found balance. We're unrestricted. We're, you know, our little self-sufficient land. Their primary obstacle, again, is like the Hierophant here. Like, I don't know if this, I'm going to say, I don't know that much about them and their religious beliefs. With the Hierophant here, though, it's almost like there's some, like, I don't know if someone put it in their ear or there's some idea that they might be going against God as they're going over to form this colony. It could be whoever they're fleeing is telling them it'll never work because it's against God, maybe, or, you know, I've cursed you. I don't know, something here where they always knew they were up against it. So it's not just like the world, but it's like up against a spiritual matter where it's like, well, you're going against God. That's how this is coming through. Like, God's not going to have any favor for you. God's not going to care about you. God's not going to take care of you. You're just going to be out there on your own. So good luck, it's going to fail. Like, you were already doomed before you started. That's how that's coming across. That's nice. All right. First question. were these colonists, were they absorbed into the local Indian populations there? That would be, maybe they just decided to go off with the indigenous people of the land, and that's just where they disappeared to. So did the colonists just go off with the indigenous folk? It looks like, nope, they did not. They did not go off with the indigenous folk. It looks like, though, that they had some type of meetings together to see how they could work together. It looks like that, looks like it started off okay. Like, we're, you know, oh, you want to come over and have dinner at our place? Come on, like, let's hang out. It looks like there was some business going on between both sides. So there was business going on between both sides. They didn't go with them, and I don't know if they thought that they should have gone with them. They thought they were smarter. It's almost like, were they warned by the indigenous people something was coming up, and they just like, nah, you're silly. That's not going to happen. And then something happens. So it doesn't look like they were going along with what the indigenous people maybe were planning for them. They were just like, no, we're going to go our own way. But I have to pay my sneaky snacker tax. Hold on. Donk. If you're new to the channel, every time the Seven of Swords pops up, I pay the sneaky snacker tax because I do. It came up a lot this year. At the end of the year, we'll figure out a good charity to donate it to. Anyhow, so they wanted to go their own way. They didn't go with them. They're like, we're going to figure it out. Apparently, that didn't work for them, maybe. Next question. Were the colonists captured? Maybe they were captured by some group of people, and maybe the indigenous people were like, yo, I got a tip that, you know, you guys are going to get captured and taken somewhere. You better, like, vamoose. And they're like, no. All right. Were they captured? I don't even know that they're captured. This is like, these people are weird. These people are weird. They're, apologies to the missing people of the colony of Roanoke. They're weird people. There's like opposing forces here at play with them. There's the people who are in charge of it on our land. And then there's the place they came from. There's two opposing forces here, but it's interesting that it's like they think they know it all. It's very like you know, a teenager that thinks they know it all before they go out into the world. We got this all settled. We know what's up. We thanks but no thanks. Again, that's their, like, thanks but no thanks. It just like, we're gonna go our own way. But every time they go their own way, they jack shit up because they think they're so smart. And it's almost as if like they keep having failures, but they don't learn from their failures. Like, say if you came across someone who like had a bunch of wounds from having a fight or something, and they covered it up, trying to cover up all their wounds, and someone's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And they're like, oh, I'm fine. I don't know why you're like all upset. I'm fine. Like, delusional. They were trying to keep this going no matter what. They wanted to keep the illusion of the successful colony going forward, but it is not going well at all. They don't know what to do. They're making all the wrong choices, and ends up being no bueno. All right, so they're not captured. They didn't go on with the indigenous people. These people just want to go it their own way. Weird. Time for a little crystal chit chat. This is a bloodstone, and this is all about healing. So no matter what type of healing that you're seeking, you're going to find that bloodstone will help you and your body kick itself into shape and do some healing when you work with this powerful stone. So bloodstone is a combination of red and green jasper. It's an excellent aid in helping you to heal from mental, financial, emotional, and physical issues. But don't take my word for it, because I'm not a doctor and this is not meant to be medical diagnosis or any of that stuff. Disclaimer, disclaimer. But once you work with bloodstone, help it do some healing on your behalf, I think you're going to find that you can face any challenge that you have coming at your way with no problemos. So if you want to get your own piece of healing bloodstone, come over to my shop at aliciawicker.com. Weird. Croatoan. That was the name of the island south of Roanoke, and it was the word carved into forts, the gatepost at the forts, I guess. Crow was carved into a tree, and I guess the question was, this a message that they moved to the island? So, did the colonists of Roanoke, did they go move to Croatoa or Croatoan, the island, whatever it's called? Did they go move to it? It's a weird name for an island, Croatoan. I don't know. Let's see. No, not going there. They did not go there. They're all fighting about it. They're not going to go there. Nope, not allowed to go there. Not allowed to go there. They did not go there. Something happened here, but they were not allowed to go there. Nope. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're not going over to that island. All right, there's that theory. Next theory is, I don't even know if I can say this one, chomping on your fellow person. You know, kind of like that movie Alive. Chomping on your fellow person. Is this what happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? But I don't know. Did they ever find the bones? I don't know. Oh my. This is a definite possibility here. This is jacked up shit. This is... Why? Why would they do this? This was like, I'm going to say this is a definite possibility, and we'll have to ask more questions. It's almost as if, remember how they just want to go their own way every opportunity. I'm going to just go my own way. Well, it looks like that doesn't work out after a while, and people are starting to get hungry and shit. Like, we're not able to farm. We're not having, like, what we need to survive basic level. It's not being met, and the people in charge, it's like, weird to say, but it's kind of like Jonestown. Kind of like, no, this is like how it has to be. Survive, buckle up, figure it out. And then things are going in the wrong direction, and they are being led by corrupt leaders or whatever, who keep trying to tell them, like, no, starving, fasting, it's good for you, because we're fighting for this higher power. But then it's like, at some point we start noshing on the personas, the peoples, and at least there's some feeding, satiating the hunger, but there's this like, oh God, I just ate Bob, ick, that was my neighbor or whatever, and the whoever's in charge, those people are trying to spin it as good, and the people are like, this is like a burden I do not want to have to continue on with. Okay, so that might be part of this, because it's almost like, we have everything that we need here, just take a bite out of Bob. No, don't take a bite out of Bob. What in the world? You're not good at farming, perhaps? So, let's see. Was there some disease that came into town? Okay. I'm not getting this as disease, but as much as I'm getting it as poison plants. Poison plants coming in, or they ingested, or someone brought it to them. I don't know. There's some type of poison plants, like somebody's specifically knows about the poison plants that brings it to them under some guise of it's like some life-saving, I don't know, potion, food, whatever, what have you. So I think that's part of this. So some of these people, it didn't go well. They got sick. They were, it affected them, their body, affected their mind. There was confusion, imbalance. What do you call it? Like vertigo, nausea. It made them sick. The people that ingested it. And people were confused because it wasn't like, going back to Jonestown, it wasn't a lineup and everybody takes it. So it was kind of like some people took it and some people did not. So some people weren't aware if their person had taken it in their family. But this, at the same time, how this got introduced was introduced by an enemy to the Roanoke colony who was trying to sabotage them. And they're feeling success that they were able to get them to take this. So there's that. So that's part of it. Okay. So in a sense they're being taken off the earth plane through a nefarious means. Let's see, were any of the people, the ladies, executed because they're witches? And they're like, get out of here, witches, we're gonna take you down. Maybe witches came and wanted to take them down. Was witchcraft involved in this? If there was any witches in their hood, in their colony, they were basically told to vacate and get the fuck out. Get out of here. We don't want you here. Get out. You're not a part of our crew. So they were banished. So if there was any, they rooted them out. So that's either if they came to visit or they were a part of the crew, they were not allowed to be in there. So that's not a part of this. All right, so let's get to it. Let's see. What happened to them? Some of them apparently were noshing on each other, and some of them took some bad plant medicine. So what happened then? How did that come about? Okay, so it looks like the first batch, this wasn't like a one and done, so it's not a Jonestown thing. It's not one and done. There's multiple stages to getting rid of the colonists. So the first stage is the plant poison, we'll say, coming in. But because like how I said that it wasn't everybody lined up and got it, so this was like their missed opportunity of like, oh, if we were smart, we would have lined everybody up and, given them a number and whatever to make sure everybody got checked off here. So when that didn't work, we had to start on a new project and trying to get rid of the rest of them. And Yeah, here we had to start over because they didn't get... So somebody was after them, maybe from the old world. But it looks like they were having a hard time getting rid of the rest of the group. Okay. Then this person comes over. There's a new person coming over who wants to take control. They don't trust him. He's telling them that he's a part of their solution or something, like, you have to trust me. He somehow wins the trust, like, well, you know, it's Johnny, and Johnny's from down, you know, our family knows Johnny forever, you know, we can trust him. Like, I think they're plants. There's other people planted in the community who start the rumor of, like, come on, trust Johnny. Johnny's gonna help us out. Johnny has this brand new idea, and he's selling it to them about how everything's gonna be great, but it's all filled with lies. So interloper, we're going to call Johnny, comes in and he's going to take over. So he's got all the right ideas. He's telling him he's divinely guided by God. He's going to help them secure their colony here for future growth, and he's going to help them defend themselves against, I don't know, indigenous people or bears or mice or whatever. But he's being shady here behind the scenes. But he's trying to market it to the people that he's not shady. He's still selling them on this story of, no, everybody come together. This is going to be great. Let's plan what we're doing. Look, we stopped the mass passings. And look, we figured out, like, what was going wrong there. So we're moving on to our future goals. Oh. Interesting. I think that somehow then they make a connection between him. Some people, like, are just resigned. They know that he's a horrible person, that they shouldn't have let him in. He shouldn't have... Okay, somehow he gets outed as being no bueno. But at the same point, maybe he had a wife with him. He has someone else that, like, marketing on his behalf, campaigning on his behalf. There's somebody else who comes to campaign on his behalf, trying to redeem his persona. And the people are just so frustrated. They just don't know what to do. They don't have anybody else to turn to. They're stuck with this guy and the direction that he wants to take them. It's like, you know, it's kind of like being off on an island by yourself, and you're like, well, I don't have any other ideas on my own, so I guess I'll, you know, dance with the devil. Okay, so he's telling them all the right things. That phase is behind us. We're moving forward. We're leaving all the horrible times behind, and we are going to be going into victory. Just listen to me. Just trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm taking you out of the shit situation. We're going to be moving forward. I didn't say it would be easy, but just be patient with me, and we're going to get there. He's lying to them this entire time, and he's pulling shenanigans. So things get better for a while. Although there's some people who start to see the signs that this is not the way that we were supposed to go, and some people start to talk to each other. And they're just like, you know what Johnny's up to? No good. No good. Johnny was thinking, I don't know why I'm calling him Johnny, but that's going to be his name, the leader over there. Johnny's thinking he's going to be able to sell this to him, but then at some point it stops because the people are all talking to each other, and they start talking and talking, and the talk grows. And then he's lost control of the situation. Nobody knows what's going on there. They don't know what... Oh, dear. So Johnny's got a trick to play. Johnny's got a trick to play. He wants to come in here and he's going to lie to the people. He's going to... He is telling them there's a disaster on the horizon, and if you listen to me, we're going to avert disaster. I'm here. We're all in this together. Nobody leaves. Again, nobody's leaving. Just stick with me. He's got total control over these people. He sees the big picture. Everybody feels like a victim, but he's like, look at everything we're doing here. It's all so good. It's all so good. And people don't know what to do. He's abusive to them. Nobody, now again, they've like, nobody's buying into what he's selling. Nobody's buying into what he's selling. And he's realizing quite quickly that he is losing control. He's losing his power. He's losing it. This is where then he comes in, and I think he's giving them, so it's not the plant, he's giving some of them something to make them cease. Be muerto. Something's given to some people to make them be muerto. Again, this makes them, it's kind of like the poison plant, but different. And then he gives it to the biggest opponents. The people who are screaming the loudest, he gives it to them. Somehow he's dosing them with it. All allegedly for entertainment purposes. If you're like a time traveler from the Lost Colony of Roanoke, please speak up in the comments. But I'm just saying, he gave his biggest opponents something to zip them up, so they're not talking shit about him anymore. He went up against the gossipers. Okay, so he goes up against the gossipers. He gets them to be silenced. All right, then what? Oh, then what? I'm so intrigued to see what happens next. Our Roanoke soap opera. It's got me gripped. All right. Let's make sure we get all of our cards flip-flopped around. All right, so shuts down the big talkers. Okay, everybody's hurt in the colony, but they all realize that they're trapped. They realize they're trapped with Johnny. Johnny is just mean and angry, and they don't have anywhere else to go. They realize he is not part of their solution, but again, it's like they're weighing their options. They don't have any options. They don't know what to do, but they know that he's no good. They've caught him. They realize he's in control of their survival, and so he's making plans for moving forward. Here he is. He's making plans for moving them forward. And the people just, they let go. They're just like, they're resigned. They just don't know what to do. They've given up. They've given up hope. This was a failed experiment for them. They gave up hope. They're not as excited anymore about this. They know what's going on. However, they have no way to take him on, although it looks like some of them are trying to start an offensive. Like a few are rallying against him. But it's just a bunch of talking where they're not actually doing anything. So there's the ones that are left, then there's some new ones that start to speak up, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go after Johnny and get him off of this colony and stuff. But they don't do anything. They're just like so as the things start to go downhill, because eventually everybody's resigned, they're not working the land, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, everyone's like depressed. They've given up hope. They don't see a future, so they're not motivated to go out and do things to better their life. Yeah, that's any of them that think that they're going to go ahead and improve the life for the colonists there, they don't do it, and they don't know where to start. They have no idea where to start, what to do first, how to get going. Like, these are not survivalists at all. They don't know what to do, and they just start to, they're depressed. They just die. I don't have any other, like, they just give up. They don't have resources. They don't have anything to sustain them. They don't have any motivation to figure out how to sustain them. they don't care. So I guess that's where the noshing of the people comes into play. When people just give up, they don't care, they pass. And then the other ones are like not farming, they're not doing anything to get food, they're not harvesting, they don't have plants, whatever. They eventually start noshing. This is just depression town all over. All these ideas of what we were going to do. And then Johnny came to town with his horrible plan. He just wanted to, you know, be this awful ruler over us. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, hand out there. So eventually, lack of motivation, lack of know-how, and that old Johnny or whatever. So let's look into Johnny. Like, what's up with Johnny? Why'd he come to town? What happened to Johnny? Well, let's start first. Why did Johnny come to town to do this? What? Johnny's a rogue solo agent here. Johnny, I don't know what part of a group he's in or was coming from, or Johnny was coming over here trying to make a name for himself. So from whoever was, we'll say whoever was the enemies of the colony, he's coming from that camp, but as an outsider to that camp, but he's on that side. So like, say if you had the cool kids club of the colony haters, he's out here on the periphery wanting to get in, make a name for himself in that. He's a rogue agent, he's working by himself, but he's trying to make a name for himself and trying to figure out how he's going to do this, because he wants to, you know, eventually be reign supreme. And so things, there was something on the line at home, wherever, I assume it's overseas, across the pond. There was something over there that his character was jacked up. And so he's trying to reestablish his character to get into favor, and saw this as a very good money-making opportunity, an opportunity to change his credibility, his character, all of that stuff. He's just not very effective, but a total liar, a total no bueno person. He was like very full of himself. He talked up all of his skills that he didn't have. He was a liar. But this was all about him trying to further himself in some way. He wasn't backed by anyone. He's kind of like his own self. He's just doing this to get his own type of street cred over there, and it didn't work. He wasn't able to pull off his ultimate dream, which I guess would just be control from them, and they just went the whole other way with that. Let's... Gosh. Why didn't anyone... Why did they not want the colony to succeed? This is the Spirits and Shadows Oracle. It's... okay. So this is exile, intellect, entanglement, remembrance, a secret. This is manifestation. This is patience. This is the journey. This is reincarnation. And the secret is greed. Okay, so they're going off on their own journey, right? And they wanted this bad. They're like, we're going to prove you wrong. We're going to go out and we're going to do it our way. And the powers that be on the other side were kind of like, okay, yeah, but we know you're going to fail. We just need to be patient because we know you're going to fail. So it's almost like they know they're going to fail. And I don't think that they were encouraged. They weren't encouraged. They were expected to fail. There's an entanglement between the colonist and wherever they came from. There's this entanglement that is still entangled even after they've made their journey over to the new world, I guess we'll call it. And while there was this desire to kind of recreate what was back at home, it was destined to fail from the beginning. It was never going to succeed. It was like a horrible idea. And underneath it all we have is there's the secret that was greed behind it. Now, if it had succeeded, I guess still the powers that be, they're entangled and they would have gotten a piece of the pie, but it was more about pride and that these people think they're so smart that they're just going to go ahead and show us all up, but we're the smart people, and so they wanted to undermine them at every step of the way. Okay, can't have them being more successful than us. All right, I'm curious, are there ghosts over there still from the colonist? Are there ghosts that are trapped over there? Maybe they're not trapped. Maybe they just like hanging out there. Are any colonist ghosts hanging out over there in Roanoke? Or maybe they've moved on to the other side. Huh. There's some that are over there. They're still hanging on because they want the truth to be revealed. And so they're not leaving. They don't want to be forgotten. They want the story of what happened to him to be told. And so they're waiting until that story is told. And they'll sit there as long as they need to. So there's some entities over there. They're upset about how this whole thing went through, and the greed of the entanglement with, powers that be didn't want that to happen. They're wanting the truth to come out. And like I said, they are waiting for someone to communicate for them. Interesting. When they want to share their truth to, it's almost there's a forgiveness. They've forgiven the powers that be, our entanglement buddies. They've forgiven them. However, they want people to know the truth. They want to share it so that others don't make the same mistake that they did. So they're not coming from a vengeful place, so there's not like angry spirits over there. They're not like saying like, oh my gosh, yeah, come over here to our forest and we're gonna get you. It's not that at all. They want to speak, to share the truth, and get it out, and they're just waiting for as long as need be to get the full, complete story out. Okay, well, that was interesting. So if you haven't already, give this video a like, and come join me in the Moon Moth Manor, where we do some uncensored videos over there. And with that, I'm going to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Adios.